Mailbag time here on NBA Now by Chat Sports. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. with you. Use hashtag NBA or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Should the Warriors tank the rest of the season? This one coming from Texas Thumper. It's a fair question after not making major moves at the deadline.
Yeah, I appreciate the question, Texas Thumper. I think what Bob Myers did at the NBA trade deadline, he admitted, okay, we're silently selling. We are simply not good enough right now because other than Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins is playing better, and I think he deserves more credit than he gets.
Been a good defender this year.
Draymond Green, liability offensively, still really good defensively and as a leader and just has a wonderful basketball IQ. But other than that, it's just a bunch of guys, right? Yeah. So I think the Warriors' focus is building for next year when Klay Thompson gets back.
You're not going to tank intentionally, but what you're going to do is start playing your young guys have your minutes. Nico Mannion, Jordan Poole, Clay Wiseman, 30-plus minutes a night. Like, get these guys in there, and if the result of that is you lose a bunch of games, so be it. You get a higher draft pick. I think this team, if healthy, add another piece this offseason, can come back and contend next year. So should the Warriors tank for the rest of the season? Type Y for yes, type N for no. You don't want to tank with Steph Curry, but you got to be realistic as well. So get your votes in. Y for yes, N for no. Should the Golden State Warriors tank for the rest of this season? For you Warriors fans, we've partnered up with the Newsbreak app, and we encourage you guys to download it at chatsports.com/WarriorsNB. Chase is a huge fan of this app. Why don't you tell him why?
It's one of the best apps on my phone. I use it every single day, so go to chatsports.com/WarriorsNB. Look, obviously I love basketball. I love the Warriors. I love talking sports, but I have interests beyond that. I like to stay up to date and refreshed because I'm a well-rounded, versatile dude, right? So I'm talking crime, weather, pop culture.
You like Draymond.
Entertainment.
Very versatile.
Hey, I'm like Draymond Green. Yeah. I have versatility to my life, and the Newsbreak app brings versatility to my life in terms of just being knowledgeable about a bunch of different topics, because this is what the Newsbreak app gives you. Local news and weather, politics, pop culture, food, and entertainment. If you love the Dubs, you can stay up to date with Warriors content on the Newsbreak app. And moving off of that, here's great news too, because Warriors Today by Chat Sports has its own page on the Newsbreak app. So the latest news and rumors, playoff news, any trades or signings like Jordan Poole yesterday. We brought you a video. So, hey, chatsports.com/WarriorsNB, and on your iPhone or Android, that is when you download the app. You'll be in a much better spot, and you'll be that dude at the party who knows everything that's going on in your neighborhood or around the world.
Downloading this app supports the show, and it keeps you up to date with everything surrounding the Warriors and local stories in your neighborhood and your communities. Chatsports.com/WarriorsNB. Jackson Fulton outside of Cade, both Jalen's, Jonathan, and Mobley. Who you got? I'd probably go Suggs just because I think guard-wing combos are better than bigs in today's NBA, and they're more of them hit than bigs do, but Mobley's a fun player.
Yeah, so is he saying outside of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green
right.
and Mobley? Saying. Oh, wow.
How about Davion Mitchell? He might be the safest player in the draft.
I am so high on Davion Mitchell, and if I was running an NBA franchise and I had some solid pieces at number 5, I would think about taking him that high.
I don't think he can be a superstar, but I think his floor is like an energy guy off the bench. You know what I mean? Where he's at least going to be a rotation player.
A lot of people compare his game, and it does look like Donovan Mitchell's. If you go back to Donovan Mitchell's career at Louisville, he wasn't a 25-point-per-game night, and a lot of people ripped his efficiency. Davion Mitchell, he's not a 25-point-per-game guy. I think he averaged around 14, but we're looking at potential here, and, man, that dude can defend.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Who should win MVP? Predict it for us. It's a deep candidate pool this year. Jokic, Embiid, Steph, LeBron, probably not LeBron because he's hurt, but James Harden, we've been talking about in the office, is a guy who's been red hot the last 2 months. You going Jokic?
I think it's the Joker. I think you take him away from the Nuggets, and this is how I measure MVP. How would that team be if you took that respective player out of the lineup?
That's not a playoff team, I don't think.
The Nuggets would stink.
No, I agree with you. D-Man Dooney, this is not going to happen, but what would be the asking price for Steph Curry? What about Klay? I don't know if Klay's really tradable at this point. He hadn't played in 2 years. I think we have to see him play first. And you kind of said it yourself. They're not going to trade him. It would be 4 first-round picks and probably a couple of young players. The max you could give, that's what it would be.
Klay Thompson, when he was healthy, one of the best shooters of all time, one of the best defenders in the league, but he's coming off a torn ACL and a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a trade market. Steph Curry, on the other hand, look, he just turned 33 years old. So Steph Curry is getting into the twilight area of his career. I still think you can get multiple first-round picks for Steph Curry. Look at what he's doing right now. He's averaging around 30 points per game.
Ezra Valdez, what do you think of Kai Jones and Greg Brown? I like Kai Jones more. Greg Brown just could not get out of his own way this year at Texas. He would always get in foul trouble. Maybe you chalk that up to being a freshman in college. I don't know. I think Kai Jones is a higher energy, more athletic player.
Yeah, and I think he's a higher energy, more athletic player and maybe has much more potential than a guy like JaVale McGee.
Yeah, I like that
you
comp.
can get at the mid to late first round.
Okay. Al Matt, couple more here. Can you explain how the lottery odds work? So they changed it a couple of years ago. The top 3 teams all have the same percentage chance, and by top 3 I mean the worst 3 records in the league, because they've tried to eliminate tanking. So if you have a bottom 3 record, I think it's 15% chance for all 3 of those teams to get the number 1 pick. And it's the ping pong ball thing, you know, they shake them up, all that, and it's progressively worse. Like 4th team has 12%, 15th has 10, or whatever it is. It's a trickle-down effect, but they've tried to eliminate tanking, whereas the worst record doesn't have clearly the best odds. So, you know, tanking doesn't work as much as it used to. Subscribe to us here at Chat Sports. You see the link on screen. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. If you love our mailbags, join us every Friday live, because Chase and I are going to be chopping it down for you guys, breaking down all your questions. So subscribe, turn on those notifications. Bunch of NBA coverage leading on to the NBA playoffs. Gary Sanderson, pro comp for James Bouknight.
Yeah, James Bouknight out of UConn. James Bouknight, oh man, an NBA comp, I'm not sure, but I will tell you this, like he can pour it up and pour it in as a really elite scorer, maybe a better defender than like a Lou Williams.
Okay.
He kind of reminds me of Lou Williams. Now, Lou Williams is very, very one-sided.
Yeah,
he can only play offense and, you know, goes on trips to get chicken wings and stuff.
Yes.
But James Bouknight, in terms of offensive scoring and offensive ability, reminds me a little bit of Lou Williams.
Okay. King J, pro comp for Jalen Suggs. He's your guy. What do you think?
So I think that he can affect the game in a variety of ways, like a shorter Ben Simmons, and he can kind of score and has the body type of Brandon Roy, who before he got hurt with the Portland Trailblazers was an all-star and a really legitimate player. So those are the pro comps that I'd make for Jalen Suggs.